Today on September 1st, we're going to be discussing another shot of cold air that will make its way down into the US by about midweek. We will also be looking at our rain chances this week, and then we'll be looking at an area we need to watch in the tropics over the next week or two. So taking a look first at temperatures here, we'll look at temperature anomalies. So as we can see, tomorrow on Tuesday, we're going to still have plenty of below average temperatures into the eastern US and above average temperatures into the western US. As we get into Wednesday, there's our below average temperature starting to make its way down into Minnesota, Wisconsin by Wednesday and Thursday. Then as we get into Thursday and Friday, still have quite a large area of below average temperatures right here, and then the Pacific Northwest will be above average, as well as the Southeast and Deep South for Thursday and even into Friday. As we get further into Saturday and Sunday this upcoming weekend, a good bit of the US will be below average as we get into Monday next week, and still even as we get to Tuesday, September 9th, 10th, a good bit of the country still is going to be below average according to the GEFS ensembles. So what will temperatures look like today on Labor Day and then into this week? So the warmest temperatures, or warmest areas I should say, that will have the warmest temperatures will be into the southwest US today, and then across portions of the deep south and then the northwest as well. As we get into tomorrow on Tuesday, pretty much the same story. Southwest US, south central US, Pacific Northwest, those areas will be quite warm, well into the 90s and even hitting 100 and a little over 100 in some areas tomorrow on Tuesday. As we get into Wednesday and Thursday, there's our cool air making its way down into and near the Great Lakes states. Then across the south central and western US, temperatures will still be quite warm, especially into California, Washington State, Oregon, Texas as well, into the 90s and even hitting 100 in some areas. Getting into Friday and Saturday, still have a good bit of the country that will cool down, especially in the central US, temperatures into the 60s and 70s throughout a good bit of the country. If we back this up a little bit here and go into Friday, some areas could only see temperatures into the 40s, 50s, maybe even low 60s into maybe the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, potentially on Friday. Going back forward here into the weekend and into next week as well, still temperatures will start to cool down a little bit more, and those well above average temperatures should be just about out of the western US, and things should just be a little bit above normal for this time of year, but some areas will be around average. So that'll be the good news, and that's pretty much our temperature outlook for the next week and a half. So what about our rain chances this week? So today on Labor Day, rain across the central and south central US. Getting into Tuesday as well, we have an upper level low way up here into Canada, and that will bring some rain across the Midwest and Minnesota, Wisconsin, and also kind of a low pressure out here into the southwest US. But this low pressure up here into Canada wants to actually deliver just maybe a mix of snow, potentially sleet into some of these areas, maybe into northern Minnesota, some of those areas as well, maybe even the UP of Michigan. So some of those areas may see just a little bit of snow potentially on Thursday, maybe even into early Thursday morning, some of those time frames there on the GFS. But that's just what the GFS shows. If we go back a little bit here, still across the eastern US as a whole on Thursday, quite a bit of rain across those areas into the northeast as well, and then across the Midwest as we get into Friday. Then on Saturday, a good bit of rain across the western and south central US this weekend. Getting into Sunday as well, a good bit of rain across the central US. Then into next week on Monday, probably another good chance of storms and showers across the central US. And then as we get into the 9th, 10th, 11th of September, a good bit of rain will probably be across the Pacific Northwest and portions of the central US. So what about the tropics? What do we need to watch? So we only have one area in the Atlantic we need to watch, and that is Disturbance 1. So Disturbance 1 has a 10% chance to develop into a tropical cyclone within the next 2 days and a 50% chance within the next 7 days. So once again, this is the latest and only area we have to watch, and we'll look at the weather models in just a moment to see what they have to show for this area. In the eastern and central Atlantic, we have two areas. We have Tropical Storm Kiko currently that will continue to move westward and is expected to strengthen into a Category 2 hurricane probably by Thursday, maybe Friday, at least by this weekend. weekend as well, and we'll have to continue to watch this storm as well. We also have Invest 94E in the eastern Pacific, and this area has a 80% chance of developing into a tropical cyclone within the next 2 days and a 90% chance within the next 7 days. So the reason we need to watch this area as well is because it has a chance of impacting portions of Baja California and into Mexico as well over the next few days as we get into Thursday, maybe Friday as well. So we'll look at the models as well for this area and see what they have to show. But what about our disturbance off the west coast of Africa? So on the GFS weather model here, we can see our area way down here. Once again, we're off the west coast of Africa. So as we get into tomorrow and Tuesday, into Wednesday as well, it gets a low pressure developed, go further into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then wants to get a storm out here, but it then makes it curve on out, kind of curve, and going out to the Atlantic, and then eventually get kind of merged into some flow and goes on out. But still, this is over 200 hours out by this point right here. So we still need to watch this system and see how it develops over the next several days. So what about the European weather model as well? Go to the 0Z run. So we go forward here, and you see our moisture at the bottom of the screen. Get that going even further. Does not really get anything developed there, and just kind of has some moisture hanging around for quite some time, even into Saturday, Sunday. Then finally it starts to move westward and then get some moisture near the Lesser Antilles, not this Thursday, but next Thursday. So if we take a look here, we can see our signal for that disturbance as we get into Saturday, Sunday, into Monday, and it has a good amount of members showing some sort of kind of low end to moderate signal here closer to the Lesser Antilles. And then we get into next Wednesday and we still have a few members showing up here. So still, I think this is going to be an area we'll have to continue to watch over the next several days, but we won't have a definite answer, or at least a better answer as to where this system might go until this weekend. So really, I think by this weekend, early next week, we'll have a lot better idea of what the system may do. So what's the latest on disturbance 94E? So the European model wants to get this system starting to strengthen by about Thursday, Friday. Then it gets it into Baja California as a low-end tropical depression or a low-end tropical storm, and then pushes some moisture into Mexico and finally into the southwest US. The GFS weather model, on the other hand, is a little bit more, or actually quite a bit more aggressive, and it gets this into a tropical storm, then a low-end hurricane by Friday, then Saturday, and then gets a good bit of moisture into the southwest US as well, into Arizona and New Mexico. I do think we'll get some moisture into the southwest US potentially maybe this weekend from the storm, but I don't think we'll have any significant impacts. Maybe just a little wind, but mostly just rain, and if we do get any wind, it'll be a very minimal amount in the southwest US. So that'll be it for today's update. I appreciate all of y'all watching, and I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's Labor Day weekend.